open source AI music is finally here. So this tool is called Yue, and this allows you to generate full songs for free locally on your computer. Now, if you've been generating AI music before, you've probably been using Suno or Udio, but there might be implications of your generations in terms of like ownership rights and commercial usage. But this new open source project, Yue, is under the Apache 2 license, which means you can pretty much do whatever you want with it, including using it for commercial purposes. Now, it's really simple to use. The interface currently looks like this, and so you just need to enter in a genre and then some lyrics and then press generate. And in the latter half of this video, I'm going to show you how to install this and get it running on your computer. Now, before we go into the installation tutorial, I just want to show you some examples so you can get a sense of what it can generate and what the quality is. So I'm just going to play you like some impressive sections from their demo page. Here are some pop examples. Here the genre is inspiring female, uplifting pop, airy vocal, electronic, bright vocal. That's a really strange prompt here, but anyways, they've generated 3 versions of this. Let me play each of these for you so you can hear what it sounds like.
Staring at the sunset colors paint the sky. Thoughts of you keep swirling, can't deny. I know I let you down and make mistakes, but I'm here to mend the heart I didn't break. Every word you take about the wisdom behind every dream you chase, I reach you by the light. You can't fight this, and now I won't back down. You know you can't deny it now. I won't back down. They might say I'm foolish chasing after you, but I don't feel it's a love the way you do. My heart beats only for you, can't you see? I won't let you slip away from me. I way back down. You think I'll be one step behind every dream you chase, I'll reach above the light. You can't fight this for now. I won't back down. You know you can't deny it now. I won't back down.
So a few things there. Note that it did skip like some text in the lyrics, so it doesn't follow your lyrics exactly sometimes. This is a known flaw of this. But another thing I really like about it is it keeps the choruses consistent. So notice how the melody of the first chorus aligns with the melody of the second chorus. So you can create a consistent song from this. Anyways, let's hear the second example.
Staring at the sunset, colors paint the sky. Thoughts of you keep swirling, can't deny. I know I let you down. I made mistakes, but I'm here to mend a heart I didn't break. Every road you take, I'll be one step behind. Every day we're chasing, I'm making for the light. You can't fight this feeling now. I won't back down. You know you can't deny it now. I won't back down. I'm foolish chasing after you, but they don't feel this love the way we do. My heart beats only for you. Can't you see? I'm gonna let you slip away from me. Every road you take, I'll be one step behind. Every day the trains I'm reaching for the light. You can't fake this feeling now. I won't back down. Love you can't deny it now. I won't back down. No, I won't back down.
So again, note how the melody of the first chorus aligns with the second chorus. But again, it seems to skip like these lines here and jump directly to the bottom 2 lines. So I get the feeling that each section can only take in a limited number of words. Finally, let's listen to the last example.
Staring at the sunset, colors beat the sky. That's how you keep swirling, can't deny. I know I let you down, I made mistakes, but I'm here to mend the heart I didn't break. Every road you take, I'll be one step behind. Everything you change, I'm reaching for the light. You can't find, you're still enough. I won't back down, you know you can't deny it now. You can't find, we spit enough. I won't back down, you know you can't deny it now. They might say I'm foolish, tracing after you, but they don't feel this love the way we do.
Okay, so I hope that gives you a good sense of, its vocal qualities and what it can generate for pop. Here's an example of soul. So here the genre is female romantic keyboard soul, emotional, bright vocal, airy vocal, blues, classic, rock, guitar, bass, drums. That's a lot of keywords there, but let's see what this sounds like.
I've got to hold you anyhow, not later this hour. I know it's not working hard, so come on and take my hand. Please take my hand. Now don't start fretting, trying to understand. The stars are shining, let's not miss this life. I know it's night, yeah, midnight, so come on and take the flight, please.
So that is soul for you. Notice how the vocals are pretty realistic and good quality. The harmonies in the background also sound pretty cool. And not only can it sing English lyrics, but it can also sing other languages. So here is an example of Chinese gangsta rap.
真诚酷劳酷劳酷劳酷劳酷劳，真诚酷劳，什么肉肉肉肉，富贵财宝，很成酷劳酷劳酷劳酷劳酷劳，改头酷劳，想要肉肉肉肉肉肉肉肉，想要肉肉肉肉肉肉肉肉，都混大江湖酷劳，江湖酷。 他渴望文化财宝，为挖财宝世界能够那般广，世界一那当秒，有你也请问他，
And it goes on and on. So pretty cool how it's able to rap whatever lyrics you give it while keeping the same beat and background music. Here's another example. So let's say you input these lyrics. Here the genre is bright vocal R&B, love, airy, vocal K-pop, dance, etc., etc. And then here the lyrics are a mixture of Japanese, English, and Korean. Let's see what this sounds like.
I know the only one. I know you got another love. I know more the over the well. I did in love with you. You don't know you be happy. Oh yeah, yeah. Do you want me? And I wanna be your number one. Come a little closer. Stretching my hand, why do you deny?
So first of all, this is actually pretty good quality for a free open source tool. Notice how it adds these like supporting vocals over here. And then it also does sound very K-pop. and it even makes some of the vocals auto-tune and synth-like. This is a really cool effect. And then here's an example of jazz. Here the prompt is female blues airy vocals, sad romantic guitar, jazz.
In the quiet of the evening, shadows start to fall. Whispers of the night beam echo through the hall. Lost within the silence, I hear your gentle voice, guiding me back homeward, making my heart rejoice. Don't let this moment, they hold me close tonight. With you here beside me, everything's alright. Can't imagine life alone, don't want to let you go. Stay with me forever, let our love just flow.
And it can also do metal and screaming and other insane stuff. So here's an example of that.
Step back is all ignite. Won't quit without a fight. Those can't get up with the fist fight. Raise up, put your hands up in light. Feel the right, step back is all ignite. Won't back down without a fight. It keeps going and going, the heat is on. One thing.
So it can handle heavy metal and screaming just fine. Next, I also want to show you some emergent properties. So note how during this generation, the lyrics and the song length aren't really the same. It kind of finished singing already, but there was still some time at the end of this song, so it just started improving and scatting. Let me jump to the end and play you what that sounds like.
Fully close tonight, with you here beside me, everything's alright. Can't imagine love for you, don't wanna let you go. Stay with me forever, let our love just roll.
Really interesting phenomenon. Here's another example where in a rap song, it just started improving and freestyling. So let me jump to that section and play it for you.
I'm soaring high, reaching for the skies. Lessons that I learned made me who I am. Standing tall now, I don't give a damn. Echoes in the alley, music need to howl me. Watch as crayfish see beef, so find me. Good and made like his, it calls me. Let us lamb never cause a skid get all skin to cause. Birds bulls, birds dispersal of balls. Certain that balls, filling the hall. From the world, Chris and the Changa Doke. And the witch run, and on this fool. Man, and on my wing, and from my dreams. And all I do, and all I
Pretty strange but cool how it just ignored the lyrics and started freestyle rapping on its own. Now from these examples, I mean, it's already a huge step for open source AI music generation. That being said, notice that the quality isn't really that good yet. I mean, this doesn't really have stereo width. This is definitely not publishable quality. And honestly, the top commercial models out there like Suno or Udio still sound a lot better. That being said, like I mentioned, your generations from these platforms might have legal implications, so that's the benefit of generating with this open source tool instead. Anyways, those are some examples. Next, let's go over how we can install this and run it locally on your computer. At the top of this page is their GitHub repo. Now note that for the original GitHub repo, first of all, there is no visual interface. You kind of have to run all of this using code, but that's fine. I'm going to show you how to use a visual interface in a second. Plus, also in the original repo, it does seem to be pretty compute intensive. So here it's suggesting for GPUs with 24 gigabytes of memory or less, you can only run up to 2 sessions concurrently, which I'll define in a second. Now, of course, not everyone that's watching my YouTube video has a GPU of 24 gigabytes of VRAM, so we are actually not going to use this original repo, but we are going to use this one, which is actually optimized for lower VRAM. So let's click on this. This repo is called YueGP, also known as GPU Poor. So this is actually optimized for people with GPUs of less than 10 gigabytes of VRAM. Another thing to note is you do need a CUDA GPU, so AMD GPUs currently do not work. Plus, this does have a nice visual Gradio interface, so you don't have to just work with code. You can work with this interface, so you can enter the genre, enter the prompt, and then press generate. So assuming you have all these hardware requirements, let's go ahead and install this. By the way, the instructions are all on this page. Let's go over this step by step. So first of all, before you even run this code, you need to have Git installed. If you don't have Git installed, here's how to install it. If you already have Git installed, feel free to skip to the next section. So all we got to do is download the latest release for whatever operating system you're using. So I'm using Windows, so I'm just going to click on download for Windows. I'm running 64-bit, so I'm going to click on this to download, and it's now downloading this exe file. So once that's completed, all we got to do is open that exe file and then follow the steps. So I'm going to click on next. I'm just going to go with the default install location, which is program files/git. So I'll click next for that. And then I'm just going to leave this at the default. And then I'm going to click next again and click next here. We're just going to use the default settings for all of these. There's a lot of settings that you need to go through, so I'm just going to click next for all of these. All right, and then it should go ahead and install all the files, so this might take a few minutes. Perfect, so now we have Git installed. All right, so assuming you have Git installed, the next step is we're going to clone the repo into a folder somewhere. So for me, it doesn't matter where, but let's say I want to just clone a folder on my desktop, then I would first open up my desktop and then at the top bar here, type in cmd to open up command prompt on my desktop. And then the next step is to use Git to install LFS. This is also known as large file storage, and this is needed for installing larger files. And then the next step is it's going to use Git to clone this repository. Basically, it's going to clone all the files that you see here into a folder on our desktop. So let's copy these two lines and then paste it in here. And then let's press enter one more time. So now it has cloned the repo. You should see a new folder called yuegp. Let me just drag it to the middle here. And if we open this up and compare it with this GitHub repo, note that all the files and folders are the same. All right, so the next step is to change the directory into this inference folder. And then we are also going to use Git to clone this, which if you open up the link and click on files and versions, it basically copies all these files into this inference folder. So let's go ahead and copy these two lines, and then back in our command prompt, let's paste it in here. Let's press enter and wait a few minutes for it to finish cloning everything. All right, if all goes well, again, if you open up this inference folder, you should see this Xcodec mini infer, and if you open that, it contains all the files and folders that you see here. Now note that this folder, the total size is like 1.7 gigabytes, so it might take a while for you to download. Anyways, going back to this GitHub repo, the next step is to create a virtual environment using Conda and then install Torch 2.51 with CUDA 12.4. Again, note that you do need to have a CUDA GPU for this to work. So let's exit out of this command prompt. And then let's start from scratch again. So going back to our desktop, let's open up this UF folder. And then at the top here, let's type in cmd to open up command prompt within this UF folder. And then next, I'm going to use Conda to create a virtual environment. This does require that you have Conda installed on your computer. If you don't, here's how to install it. If you already have Conda installed, feel free to skip to the next section. Now, I'm just on anaconda.com, and actually what I'm going to do is install mini Conda. This is a minimalist version of Anaconda. If you install the full Anaconda, it installs a lot of packages and dependencies that you might not need. This just takes up more room on your computer, and of course, the installation time is a bit longer. But with Mini Conda, it's just a bare bones package, and you can always install additional packages and dependencies afterwards. So I'm going to click on latest Miniconda installer links by Python version, and I'm using Windows, so I'm going to install one of these. Now, for free and open source AI tools, usually they do not support Python 3.12, so it's better to install the Python 3.11 version. So I'm going to click on this, which should download an exe file to your computer. Once it's finished downloading, simply double-click on this and then follow the steps to complete the installation. So I'm going to click next and then agree, and then let's set this to all users. I'm going to go with the default destination folder, and then I'm going to check this as well, clear the package cache upon completion. This just gives you back some more disk space without affecting functionality. Alright, once that's completed, let's click next, and then we are finished. Now, we aren't done yet, so if you open up the command prompt and you type in conda version, you're still going to see that Conda is not recognized. This is because we haven't added Anaconda to our path yet. So let's exit out of this, and then to add it to our path, we simply search for this function, edit the system environment variables. We're going to click on this, and then click on environment variables, and then click on the one that says path, and then click edit. And here's where you add in the path of Anaconda. So it depends where you installed Anaconda. For me, I installed it in program data. So it's going to be in program data /mini Conda. And then if I double click on scripts, you can see that Conda is here. So this is the folder we want to paste in. So I'm going to right click on this and then copy as path. And then back in the environment variables window, I'm going to click new and then paste in the path here and then click OK and then OK and then OK again. Now, if you open up command prompt again and type in conda version, you should see that we are running 24.5.0. So this shows that we have successfully installed Anaconda. Alright, so assuming you have Conda installed, the next step is to use Conda to create a new virtual environment with the name Yue or whatever you want to name it, and then you would set the Python version to 3.11 or 0.10 or 0.12. It doesn't matter as long as the Python version is 3.10 or higher, as it says here. So I'm just going to go with 3.11 and then press enter. And then let's press yes to install the following new packages. Now, a virtual environment, if you're not familiar with this term, think of it as like a separate hard drive on your computer that houses this current project. By creating a virtual environment, this ensures that you install all the packages and dependencies for this Yue tool, but it won't affect existing AI tools that you have on your computer. Alright, so now that we've created our virtual environment, we actually need to activate it first. So let me copy this line, conda activate Yue, and then paste it in here. And if you see your Conda environment in parentheses at the start of the line, that means you have now activated and are within your virtual environment. All right, so the next step is to copy this line to basically install Torch and Torch Vision and Torch Audio. So going back to our command prompt, let's just paste that line in here and press enter. Note that this is like several gigabytes in size, so it's going to take a while depending on the speed of your internet. Alright, so if all goes well, you should see this line again with no errors. Now the next step is to pip install all the requirements that are listed in this file. So let me copy this line first, and then paste it in here and press enter. And what this is basically doing is it's looking at this requirements.txt file, and then installing all these packages that are listed here if you don't have them already. Note that again, this is going to take a while depending on the speed of your internet connection. Alright, and if all goes well, you should see this line with no error messages. Finally, one last and optional step is to install Flash Attention. So it says here, for saving GPU memory, Flash Attention 2 is recommended. Without it, it will lead to out-of-memory errors, especially on GPUs with limited memory. So let's actually go ahead and install Flash Attention. Now you could just copy this line and then paste it in here, but actually this method takes a long time. Especially if you're using Windows, this could actually take hours to install. So actually a better method is to go to this Flash Attention releases page, which I'll link to in the description below, and then down here, look for the appropriate Flash Attention version. So we're going to go with the latest version, and then here we are using CUDA 12.4. And by the way, in order to check what CUDA version you have, you can simply open up command prompt and then type in nvcc --version. So you can see I'm using CUDA 12.4. So I'm going to select this CUDA 12.4 one, and we are using Torch 2.5.1 because if you go back to the GitHub page, notice here we've installed Torch 2.5.1. And then I'm using Python 3.11 in my virtual environment. So I'm going to download this one. If you're using Python 3.10, then you would go with this one. All right, so after I've downloaded this wheel file, I'm going to right-click and then copy as path. And then back to our command prompt, I'm going to write pip install and then in quotes the path of this file. So let's press enter, and this is basically going to install the flash attention wheel. Now I've already installed this, so it's going to say flash attention is already installed. And that's pretty much it. We have now installed everything and we can start running Yue. Now you might be wondering, how do you start this from scratch? Well, let's do exactly that right now. So you would click into your Yue folder and then at the top here type in cmd to open command prompt within this folder. And then we would use Conda to activate whatever we named our virtual environment. In this case, I named it Yue. And again, you can see that we are in the virtual environment if you see the name in parentheses. And then going back to the GitHub, this contains the instructions on what to run if you have lower VRAM. So for example, if you have less than 10 gigabytes, then you would run this. Now I'm using an RTX 5000, which only has 16 gigabytes. I'm going to try running this one. So I'm going to click on this one and then paste it in here and then press enter. Now, if this is the first time you run it, note that it also needs to download some additional files, such as this safe tensors file, which is almost 5 gigabytes. Note that this only happens the first time you run this code. Afterwards, it'll be a lot faster to start this up. Okay, so after the safe tensors file has finished downloading, then you're going to see this localhost link. So simply hold Control and click into it, and it would open up this Gradio interface in your browser. All right, so the interface looks like this. Let's go over all the settings. So here is where you enter in a genre, and here is where you enter lyrics. So what I'm going to do is actually copy the genre. And then in ChatGPT, I'm going to write, give me lyrics for a song with this genre. And then I will paste in the genre here and then press enter. All right, so I'm just going to copy from verse 1 all the way to the end of the first chorus and then paste it in here. And actually to make this slightly faster, let me just get rid of the pre-chorus. So it's just 2 sections now, the verse and the chorus. And just to give this AI more clarity, I'm going to type in verse in all lowercase. Same with chorus. I'm going to set this all lowercase, just so that this aligns with the example tags that they provided on their project page. So next, let's go over these settings. So the number of sequences is basically the number of sections in your lyrics. So right now we have 2 sections, so that's why we should set this to 2. Now note that the more sections you have, the higher the VRAM consumption. And then this max new tokens to process, this basically determines how many tokens of lyrics to process, and this roughly also determines the length of your generation. So the default value of 3000 tokens will give you roughly a 30-second generation. Now, I find that for slower songs, 30 seconds would only cover like 1 section. So since we have 2 sections, let's drag this all the way to 50. So in theory, our generation should be 50 seconds. And then the seed, if you've been doing generative AI before, this term should be familiar to you. This is basically the starting point of your generation. Basically, there could be almost infinite possibilities of generations you can generate with the same genre and the same lyrics. And each seed is basically a different generation. Now, let's say we set the seed to 42 here, and we generate a song. Next time, if we add in the exact same genre and the exact same lyrics, and we set the seed to 42, it's also going to generate the exact same song. Usually the seed doesn't really matter. I would just set this to 0 for a random seed. And that's pretty much it. Let's click generate. All right, so here's what we got, and notice that I'm using an RTX 5000, which has 16 gigabytes of VRAM, and that took around 15 to 20 minutes just to generate this 50-second clip. So I'm sure there's still room to optimize this tool, but it is what it is. Let me play this for you.
Woke up to a brand new light, golden rays shine bright. Every heartbeat whispers strong. I know now where I belong. I rise like the sun, burning hot. I won't run. dance like thunder. I rise like the sun.
And that's pretty much it. This is how you can install Yue and get it running on your computer even if you have low VRAM. Now that being said, from all these samples that I've played for you, notice that the quality isn't really there yet. This is like mono, it doesn't really have stereo width to it. You definitely cannot get this published on Spotify or Apple Music. But this is a good start. This is the only decent quality open source music generator that you can use right now. And like I said at the beginning, this is under the Apache 2 license, so you can do whatever you want with it. And because this is open source, I'm sure this is only going to get better and better with time. Hopefully this will be optimized for non-CUDA GPUs and also for even lower VRAM usage. Anyways, that sums up my tutorial on Yue. Let me know in the comments what you think of this, and if you run into any issues, welcome to also paste in the error message in the comments below, and I'll try to help you troubleshoot as much as possible. As always, I will be on the lookout for the top AI news and tools to share with you. So if you enjoyed this video, remember to like, share, subscribe, and stay tuned for more content. Also, there's just so much happening in the world of AI every week. I can't possibly cover everything on my YouTube channel. So to really stay up to date with all that's going on in AI, be sure to subscribe to my free weekly newsletter. The link to that will be in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.